welcome, Andrea. It's an honor to speak with you. And thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for taking time away from your family to chat with me. You're on vacation now, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. We are here in Rome, and tomorrow I have a concert in Sicily. And fly to Sicily. It's 40 degrees Celsius in Sicily. Very, very, very warm, very hot. And so I have a recital. I'm playing Messiaen, Beethoven, because it's anniversary, and the Serenade. I play the Enesco, Fauré, Chaminade, and some Carmen Fantasy and Rigoletto Fantasy. It's kind of romantic repertoire.
So you're always working. Do you take time off ever?
Yes. Yeah. Well. I think in July we have a few days in July and a few days in August. I don't like to take like a month, something like that, because I get bored in vacation, and so I leave my kids maybe there, and they travel. And I prefer to take, we go 5 days in a boat, after we go to the mountain, after a concert, after coming back. So it's different.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about your career. You've had a 34-year career as a soloist. So what are some opportunities over the years, some big moments that you're the most grateful for?
Well, basically, what changed my life was the entrance to the Paris Conservatoire with Jean-Pierre Rampal, winning the competition there. Because before I was, I come from a very small city, town in Italy called Correggio, and it's the town of Giuseppe Verdi.
Yeah.
For instance, of Rossini. I mean, it's the region Emilia-Romagna. So, the school, my teachers, they were not good. Flute teacher, they were not good, not very good until the age of 19. And basically, I had to do all myself, listen to the records of Jean-Pierre Rampal and James Galway. And so I listened to the sound and tried to find the magic of it. And so Paris, when I entered Conservatoire of Paris, before I had a post in the orchestra of Venice, and I was teaching the conservatory when I was 20, 21, and I gave up to go and study again with the great master, and I studied with Rampal, with Debost, with Marion, and but what I learned I think technically I learned more when I met James Galway. Technically, he switched. It was another world, and but basically, you asked me something different. No,
that's fascinating. I wanted to know what big opportunities you were most grateful for in your career. It sounds like your education and studying with some of the greats. I mean, you studied with Rampal and Galway. And I think that's pretty obvious when you hear your sound and you see your stage presence. You can tell that those two have had a big impact on you. So do you think, how much of your sound was yours from the start and how much was influenced by your teachers?
Well, when I met first time Rampal, he told me that I had the sound resembling the Aurel Nicolet, because I was coming from Italy. We didn't have a French school. Right. We had an Italian school. We had Gazzelloni. We are talking about the 80s, beginning of the 80s. So in Italy there was no school. it was no school. We had some great flute players in the past, like Bricialdi, like Galli, like De Michelis. We had some great flute player, De Lorenzo, that was in America, United States. But basically, the school was not good. So when I went to Paris, my sound was not French or anyone. So I think I had to work more, and really the first great influence was Jean-Pierre Rampal. That it was for me like the sound was everything. Yeah.
And then
but you asked me about the biggest opportunity I had. Of course, it was after I met when I was in Paris, I met Luciano Pavarotti, and that's the thing. Like it was a dream for a young musician to be asked by the greatest tenor of the history to. At that time, Pavarotti was starting to do an arena concert. So he asked me, would you like to play some solo, maybe Carmen Fantasy or Rondo Russo, by Mercadal, whatever, Czardas or whatever. And also he asked Henry Mancini to compose some solo, like a duet for flute and singer and tenor. And we made 2 records that was very successful. They sold millions. I mean, not because of me, but because of Pavarotti. I was a student, and that's it. And it was a great start. I was 23 years old, and for me, it was like a dream. Traveling private plane, 5-star hotel, and still studying in Paris as a student.
Yeah, was that kind of a
something
shock?
that doesn't happen much?
Like a big lifestyle shock going from being a student to having this fast-paced career?
No, it was not a shock. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I
was not in shock at all. I mean, it was fantastic. And basically also there was after, I mean, I made so many years of concert with him because I was making good money. Earning money, and that I went to live in New York, but also I did some competition, and there was some orchestra that they asked me to be first flute. I did an audition for Muti. From there, and they said, you should come in the orchestra, but they didn't give me much space to be a soloist, so I choose not to be in the orchestra. I mean, it was a kind of, I think I was so fortunate, so lucky, so blessed to have somebody like Pavarotti that, at the beginning I was playing okay, but I was not, I don't think I was a fantastic flute player, but little by little, to be on stage and playing in front of 1,000 people. I mean, like in New York, I played in front of 500,000 people.
Right.
And it was live on PBS and BBC, and it was like live for like 1 billion people, and you play the Carmen Fantasy live or on the Rondo Russo. I mean, you have to really be, strong not to make any mistake, and also it's live outside. It's not. You don't have a great acoustic at that time. You didn't have any ear head, and the monitors were not good. I mean, you have to really be prepared to this. So that's you told me Pavarotti and Jean-Pierre Rampal and Galway. They taught me how to be on stage. Yeah.
Pavarotti also said that you were like a son to him. And what was your friendship like over the years?
Well, yeah, Pavarotti like a father, for sure. I mean, we spent a lot of time. I was living in Central Park West, he was living in Central Park South, and they spent a lot of time in New York, and spending a lot of time together and traveling together, and sharing stage, sharing thought of music, and sharing everything. We come from the same region, from the same. He came from Modena. I came from Reggio Emilia. That they are 20-minute distance, so we spoke the same dialect. So it was very, and he was a fantastic man, very generous man. He gave me the first gold flute. Because we are, I'm interviewed by the flute, the best store in the world, the Flute Center of New York. I tell you the story of this flute. I mean, it's very interesting. So Pavarotti had a silver flute, so he asked me, "What do you like?" So, I like a gold flute. What is the best? So at the time I thought Brannan was the best. So he called himself Brannan. The company said, "I'm Pavarotti, would like to order a flute." But because I called and said, it takes 2 years to order, and Pavarotti called, he said, "I want it in 3 months." So basically, I had this flute, but the key was silver. They were good, but and I paid him and this. But after I said, Luciano, I would like a 14 karat, gold flute, all gold, and said, "What would you like?" I mean, the Brannan, but with the head, Albert Cooper head. So I said, "Okay." So I called Albert Cooper, and he called Brannan, and there was a concert that he did, a historic concert in Covent Garden, with the presence of Lady Diana, the Prince Charles, and I remember it was 86. Lady Diana, she was pregnant, and it was sponsored by Gucci. And Aldo Gucci, he called me. He said, Luciano said, "Go to Aldo Gucci. He has your flute, your gold flute. That he bought it for me. I mean, he paid." So it was part of his fee. Gucci sponsored, and he gave me the flute. And it was a flute was it was the head of Albert Cooper, who he made it, and the Brannan Cooper, 14 karat. And Gucci gave me the flute. And after Luciano said, "Yeah, you will pay me with my concert. We make a lot of concerts together. Right. You will pay me with the concert." So it's great, no?
That's a great story. That's a special flute right there. You can never get rid of that flute.
Actually, I sold it.
Oh no!
I sold the head, the joint. I don't think the head joint was not so great, and maybe the flute was great, but at that time I was very young. And right. After I tried Muramatsu, and but I don't know where is the flute. I know the flute
somewhere out there.
The flute has somebody in France has it. The head joint, I don't remember.
He also said that in an interview somewhere, he says you have really good luck, and you're a lucky guy. So do you feel that way, or do you feel like there's been particular challenges in your life that you've had to overcome?
Well, I think luck, you have to attract luck. I'm somebody who attracts luck. I'm very positive. I'm very open, and I've always been very by my family to find the good thing and not the bad thing. Mm-hmm. When you are closer to somebody who always complain on this bad, and then these people they attract bad luck. Yeah. I attract luck. So he said this because it's true. It's true. I was very lucky. I was very lucky, and I bring luck to everybody that they meet me. When they meet me, everybody gets good news, and I don't know. It's just something that, and that's why also maybe I think Luciano liked me. I mean, of course, we love each other, but also that's why he said I had a lot of luck.
And yeah, for your energy.
Yeah, I think so.
What's your preference on stage when you're performing? Do you like to play by memory, or do you like to have a score for reference?
When I mean, because I had a very bad teacher at the beginning, I was playing everything by memory. When I started, I was 11, 12. And my teacher at school, because he was not very good, I probably couldn't read also. He said, you have to read the music, don't play by memory. So he obliged me to read the music until the age of 20, 21. So at that time, nobody plays by memory. And also when I went to Paris, nobody played by memory. Everybody, even Rampal played 2 concertos by Mozart by memory, and a few other solos. But so there was no such method. Now all the soloists, and it's great, but you have to be. But I started to play by memory. It was very difficult for me because to switch.
Sure.
It's very difficult if you're not I mean, like a young violinist, they're raised to play by memory since they are 5 years old. Very easy, But also for a flute, you have, the violin, they see the hand, the piano, they see the hand. We don't see anything. We have the public in front of us. And I think it's most difficult when you play the flute to play by memory. Then the other, guitar, you can see you are more concentrated on the instrument. But for the flute, you have your flute on the side, and you have to play by memory and
right.
Look.
No visual.
Somebody is picking his nose, the public, or
yeah.
It's very, very confusing. Maybe the concentrating, But I'm playing, I play Mozart by memory. I play Mercadante. I play some other concertos. But I'm not some. I mean, I know some people. I mean, for instance, there is this guy, a friend of mine from Argentina, Claudio Barile. He plays everything by memory. It was raised, incredible. I don't know how they do that. There are some young kids that play by memory. That's fantastic. I think it's great. I mean, I think if you can play by memory, play much better. That's what I say to my students. I'm teaching in Bologna at the Academy of Bologna. So I have a few students, and I teach them, of course, to play by memory. Also because now the standard is very high, and everybody has to play by memory, especially in competition, if you want to win a competition. Yes. But of course, for me, if I hear a flute player, even if you read the music, it can be much better than somebody else who played by memory. It doesn't really matter.
And another student, I guess, of yours informally is Andrea Bocelli. He's also your friend. He said that hearing you and Pavarotti perform made him really proud to be Italian. And I know that you work with him a lot as well, and he shares your passion for the flute too. So does he ever ask you for flute playing advice?
Yes, all the time. He always he's got two fantastic flutes. He's got one 24-karat Muramatsu and one platinum Muramatsu, wow, which is one incredible, great. And he brings one flute, became, I think, the platinum one because it's more solid, more less fragile. And before the concert, he plays all the time. And I know that he knew me when I didn't know him, because he listened to Pavarotti and he heard my playing, and that's why he liked me, and he heard my concert in Hyde Park, in Central Park, in Colosseum, and I mean in other parts of the world. But after when we met, we became very good friends because we had some common friends, and now also we go on holidays together. We were on holidays together last week. He's got a great boat, and with the kids, he has a little kid that loves my daughters, and my daughter loves her, and so it's a kind of. I think Andrea Bocelli is the greatest Italian artist in the world. I mean, the most known and greatest tenor in the world. I mean, it's incredible how huge. He can sell 2 Madison Square Garden one day after the other. And the price of the ticket, they are $2,000 each.
Yep. He's a superstar. But superstars are not foreign to you. I mean, you also have worked with Sting, Debbie Harry. They worked with you on a project.
Well, Sting, yeah, at the Cinema Italiano. Yeah, Sting is another very good friend of mine.
Yeah, I want to talk about that album a little bit more. Why was that project really close to your heart? And what did you set out to achieve with these adaptations of the Italian film music that you're so familiar with?
Well, this was a huge project also for Decca. Decca spent like 1 billion lira, which was half billion, no, $700,000 at that time, like in 20 years ago. and they brought the artist for free. So I don't know where was all these expenses.
Yeah.
I didn't get this money, but anyhow. But now I'm doing another. I mean, it was a good project, but I think it was not distributed in a good way. Like it was distributed like a compilation, not as my record, because of course the name, they were too big, and so. But now I'm doing another record honoring Morricone, Ennio Morricone. I have this project. For me, Ennio Morricone was one of the greatest, actually one of the greatest Italian composer who died the last year, 1 year ago. So I'm doing, and Sting also is there with duet with Sting, with Zucchero, Chris Botti, the trumpet player, Aida Garifullina, she's a soprano, fantastic. We play Cinema Paradiso, and the Zucchero, Italian pop star, and Neck. So we have kind of some duet, but not like Cinema Italiano. It would be like 6 duet, and the rest is flute and orchestra and choir. Of the, Morricone wrote so many pieces for flute, original. So I play most of the original one.
And when is that slated to come out? I
think by the end of the year, this year, yeah. Maybe some single before, yeah.
And how's touring?
But, what? Sorry.
How's touring been for you over the last year with everything kind of shutting down? What are you looking forward to as things go back to normal a little bit?
Well, I did my first concert 4 days ago in Italy, the north, and I'm doing another concert tomorrow, and I'm doing I'm flying to Cartagena to the Cartagena Colombian Music Festival in July. I'm doing a concert on the operatic opera, flute and the opera, and so I mean, I think opening up. But in Italy we are doing concert, but last year was not good. I mean, like everywhere in the world, everything was, believe it or not, my 2021 season was the best of all my career, and it got canceled. Everything. I had so many tours, so many concerts, and everything got postponed, and many canceled. That we have to still. We don't know what will go on. Going on, and but I'm pretty positive.
Are there any challenges that you've had with a career as a soloist and having a young family? Is it hard to find time to spend with family, or do you bring them with you everywhere you go?
No, it's very hard. It's very difficult, because of course they don't come with me. They don't travel with me because they go to school, and they got the friends, and it's very difficult. So before, when I was a bachelor or single, I was doing concert. I still have a lot of friends around the world, but I go to Singapore maybe, and after I had the concert, maybe 10 days later in China. So I would go to Vietnam, I go to vacation. I would spend 2 months in Asia. Maybe I had a few concerts, like maybe 10 concerts in 2 months, and I would stay there for 2 months, but now I go back immediately.
Yeah, I
can't be. When we have a little kid and this, the family, change everything. Sure. I remember I did one concert because we spent a lot of time. We have a house in Cartagena in Colombia. My wife is Colombian, and we spent a lot. When the kids were little, we spent a lot of time in winter in Cartagena because the weather is great, and they go to the kindergarten there. And they had the concert in Moscow, the Kremlin, and they flew from Cartagena to the Kremlin, and I came back immediately. I didn't even sleep there. I mean, but it was the worst trip of my life. So I don't know why I did that, but I guess I miss my family, and things change. Yeah. I got married when I was very not very, but I was I was 48. I was not young anymore, but I like the way I did before that I lived. But I was very lucky again to meet my wife, that she's a beautiful engineer and Miss Columbia, and the beautiful and the smart, and she gave me two great children. I'm very blessed for this.
And, talking about some of the most prominent stages you've played on and lots of famous friends that you have and acquaintances, how do you think the average flutist can relate to you? Or do you not worry about that, or worry about connecting to modern day regular flute players?
Oh yeah, because this is my past. I mean, I have a lot of friends and a lot of flute players, and I don't think they should. I mean, I was very lucky. I was very blessed to have to do my career. And I think today is very difficult to have a solo career, and that was my past. Today I am what I am. I am a normal person like everybody with a family. Sure. And I have a lot of friends, but well, I'm still in contact with the Galway's family all the time, and my solo in Italy, my academy. I have a lot of flute players coming and teach. I mean, we have Emmanuel Krivine for the second time I having a master class in July. We had James Galway, Sir James Galway. We have again Sir James Galway in October, and also some other great flute player. We have Philippe Bernold. I invite Sébastien Jacot, a young flute player, to talk about also to his flamboyant career, and so I like the student to see what all the flute player they do.
Right, and there's different
kind of school,
right.
technique.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here and for chatting with me. It was really great to get to know you.
Thank you, Caity. It was great. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you again. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.